Red lorry, yellow lorry. Lee, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good. And you?
Amazing. Welcome to another
How
edition.
is everyone doing? How is everyone doing?
Yes. Let's see. In the chat, guys, send us your comments. How's the market been treating you? One or up for a yes, or down if you're not enjoying it too much. Cool. Right, guys. Evergrande. We've got a little bit of news on Evergrande, the FUD around it, how it implicates the US dollar Tether. And we all know Tether's history is a little bit tainted. We're going to be looking at how that can play out on Bitcoin price action. Nothing should surprise you by now if you've been following us, because we did lay out the scenarios. Remember the show me the charts and then I'll tell you the news. Sometimes you need these news events to just reinforce the fact that price needs to go there until somebody's going to buy back. We're going to be talking about the bull bears. We're going to be showing you a little bit of bull bear history and who is the bull and who is the bear. And there's one additional animal that everybody forgets. So Lee, we're going to be sharing that animal as well. That's also in the market. Remember Fridays, live Q&A. We're going to be doing some live Q&A as well, and some new news on Ubisoft. So guys, sit back, relax. You're in good hands. And Lee, what do they have to do for us?
Put comments. Tell us if you like the show, if you like the episode, if you like if you like what we're doing every single day for you. And yeah, let's get started.
Right, Lee. Evergrande, buddy. We've touched on Evergrande now, and it kind of feels strange that a property company in China impacts the way that Bitcoin might move.
Yeah,
it feels
you have to connect some dots together.
Disjointed and far-fetched in a way. So sometimes news and fundamentals can be a little bit of a, I won't say far-fetched, but I mean, hell, it's really tough. But let's go through it. Evergrande, company, Chinese real estate company. They've got about 300 billion in property debt, and they've defaulted. And there's a big question around whether they're going to get bailed out or not. Now, normally, when companies get kind of qualify for being bailed out, there's a few things that they have to, 3 lines that they should not cross. The first one is the proportion of assets, the founder debt. Oh, yes, my writing is really bad here. Can it be more than 70%? So the asset holders in the company, the debt cannot be more than 70% of that. So the proportion of assets towards the debt can't be more. So it can't be more than 30% in debt, basically. Then the net debt cannot be more than the shareholders' funds. So if the shareholders has gotten $300 million worth of fund, the debt should not cross that $300 million threshold as well. And then lastly, they should always have enough cash or cash equivalent equity to pay their short-term debt. Now, they've crossed all 3 of those lines, which makes it an undesirable for being bailed out. Chinese government also said if there was more companies, property developing firms that was going through the same problem, they would then tend to want to step in. But because it's a singled out event, they kind of let the cards fall and where they lie, and let them fall, and let's see how they play out. So now, what has that to do with Tether? So when we look at Tether, Lee, when I started trading, and I mean you as well, the idea of Tether is simple. It's a $1 backed coin.
Yeah.
And we found out, and we've gone through a lot of Tether FUD. And funny enough, it's survived, and basically Tether come clean, and that not completely clean. But basically what they said is that they take the money, they take the dollars, and then they go and reinvest it. So they don't keep it in the safe, sitting there doing nothing. So they take that money and reinvest it, give it to other companies. And there's a little bit of speculation going around now that Evergrande basically has about 35 billion in commercial debt, which means that's money borrowed. And Tether at this stage, coincidentally, has about 31 million, billion, both instances is billion dollars worth of commercial paper, which is the receipt of that debt. So now there's a lot of FUD going around that maybe it is Tether that as is owed that money. Now, if Tether is defaulting, Tether has got a big backbone to the crypto market at this stage. I mean, think about Binance. 70%, 80% of their daily volume is Tether. It's a big impact that it's going to have if that gets discredited. Now, Tether has gone out and said that they are not holding Chinese Evergrande debt, but they are holding Chinese debt. So whether that's the case or whether it's not, I mean, I'm going to leave it with you guys, but I just want to put that out there so that you guys understand that and know what the implications is. And then lastly, Tether has in the past been hacked, and they had to come up with interesting means of raising funds, to prevent them from being sued by governments and so forth. So what they're going to do is also going to be is going to kind of give you an idea whether they are truly holding Evergrande or whether they're just holding normal commercial paper from multiple companies. So I want to leave that with you. But now, that being said, that's created a lot of uncertainty. People are using this failure and they're actually comparing this to almost a Lehman Brothers banking failure, which it's not the case because they had leveraged derivatives debt, which meant they didn't own anything physical and they went to nothing. So people literally were betting on the belief that there was something there. Where Evergrande does have a lot of assets. The problem that Evergrande has, though, is that some of those assets are in a position where people are paying mortgages to them on the basis that they will be completing their construction, and construction gets halted. People might default on the mortgages as well, which basically cuts Evergrande's cash flow down. Suppliers will then pull out and so forth. So it's a bit of a knock-on effect that can happen there. But okay, that being said, and how are we going to plug that in? I think it really is to be left to the imagination of how people react in a herding mentality. If everybody's scared, we tend to be scared. So if news and the powers be kind of sets the narrative that this should bother you, this normally bothers you. The reality is, Lee, we've got TA, and TA is our best risk management tool. And let's have a look at Bitcoin and just revisit the scenario that seems most likely to be playing out. So over to you, buddy. Let's bring up that chart.
Okay. I see a few questions on the chat about the Discord group and the early supporter role. So like we said yesterday, you can't get the early supporter role anymore on Discord. And we have booked 50 seats just for this YouTube show. So if you want to be on that early supporter role, just let us know on the chat, comments, and Joe will pick a few winners every day.
And guess what? We forgot to pick one yesterday.
So we're going to pick two today.
So we're going to pick two today. So send in those comments and let's get busy. Lee, Bitcoin.
So a while ago, I think the whole story about this Evergrande news and all those FUD and everything, for me, it's already kind of majority of them is already pressed in within that move, within that drop. Okay, and we were able to pick that drop based on Elliott wave pattern. When I take that Fibonacci level from one of those highs here, and I come back to this low, and if I put, for those who missed the earliest episodes, there's one level that I need to watch all the time, is the flat level here. And this give me 123 for a flat. And we kind of went exactly, beautifully, perfectly, pixel perfect to that level, 69,300. Okay, so we went to 69,190. So not really pixel perfect, but more or less $100. You can excuse me for that in precision. So this is, if that is the pattern that we are working on, if this is an A and B and C. On a bigger time frame, we are assuming that this is the top of the wave 3. So if you know Elliott wave, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 wave on the impulse wave. So if this is a third wave, and now we are doing this fourth wave consolidation phase, there is another fifth wave coming a little bit later for a last impulse. Okay, so if that is the fourth wave, now if this is the ABC, the problem that every single Elliott wave chartist have got, the problem that we've got right now is where do we put the third wave? It can be this pivot here, it can be this pivot here, or it can be this pivot here. Let me switch that chart. So this is the 123 level. The question that everyone's got is, where is the third wave? It can be here, it can be here, or it can be here. Okay, so I run a few scenarios by taking all these kind of possibilities. There's only 1, 2, 3. And the flat, how can I determine on a level of a flat where this retrace can go? Basically, if this is the A, we know A is always 3 wave. So it's a little bit more technical, but A has to be 3 wave, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. B can be anything. And we know that there's one level to watch, which is 0.9, and the other level is 123. So if that is the B, now we're coming back for C. C must be a 5-wave structure. So if we go to a smaller time frame, we have to find out if there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave going down to mark the end of the C wave. And C can go to this 618 to 1, or even a little bit lower, 1618. And how do I get this level here? Now I'm going to show you a new tool. It is the trend-based Fib extension. So first click here, where the 3 ends. Second click on the A, where this A is ending. And the last click, you need 3 clicks for this tool. I'm coming to the B. Now we have 618, 1, 123, 1618. All those different levels of flat pattern to play out. And when you see that, now we are working at the 618 level here. But if you lose that level, we have already a week. So that give me already a telltale sign that maybe we're gonna go back, fill those imbalance area, and why not sweep the lows here, and we go into that level at 100%, which is 36. So this is the kind of pattern that could play out, 36. Or if we resist, if we have support here at 48, we can call this as a C, a little bit shorter, but I don't see actually really now, I don't see 5 wave yet on this C pattern. So maybe this is 1, 2, this is 3, and now we're doing 4s here. And now after that, we can smash it down for a last leg down for a C wave to finish this C, and we can come up from here, pushing up for the last 5th wave on a bigger time frame. Area of confluences. Why I like this area here at 36? First, we have huge trading volume here. Huge support.
First, we called it a while back and it missed.
Yeah, I mean, we were looking at this level already. When we have this kind of move, we say somehow, sometimes we're gonna come back to visit this imbalance area. Second, there's huge support here. So if everyone who bought here when everyone was panicking, if they want to hold their position, defend their position here, this imbalance area is the best zone to add more position here. Because now, remember these higher highs and higher lows that Trudeau is always pointed out. If you forget that this chart is on the weekly chart, did we get the higher high, Trudeau?
Yes, buddy, we got the higher high.
We got the higher high. Now we got the higher high, we come back, we test support, we test the imbalance, capture more liquidity here, put the higher low, and then we are bullish. We're still bullish on a long term. Okay, so this 100% level of 36,365, and Another tool that we know now how to use is the Fibonacci retracement tool. So forget about all the wave counts and everything that we said. Very simple. These Fibonacci tools from March bottom to this high. Slap a fib on it. Okay. So I'm gonna remove this. Now I'm gonna take this simple Fibonacci tool from March low to the highest area where we can get this. I must come back to my default tool. The default here. And I'm just going to add, this is my normal tool. So 23.6, 38.2.
Standard trading tool.
Yeah, we lost 38.2. And now I'm just going to add, it's not a Fibonacci level. It's a Gann level, basically. It's a Gann level. It's 0.5. So and a lot of time, the price will react at 50% as well. It can hold, it can fail. If it fails, it goes to 618 and 786. But first, there is high probability that we will have a big reaction at 50%. So if you ask me, must I wait for 618 or 786 zone? I will wait. I will have US dollars for this zone, but as a trader, I will have to trade this level as well, 36, and that 50% retrace is at 36,475. So if by any chance price is coming and want to test this 50% level, I will definitely take this trade at 50% here. Maybe it's gonna go up, and then from this area we will see. We'll see if they want to go through, if they not come back and test the 618 later on. No one knows, but I can assume that this 50% area we will have a reaction based on that imbalance, based on that fib level, based on that trend-based fib extension that is going to this 100% of that move. So I've got basically 3 different analyses that pointing out to the same level here. So for me, this level here, we will have a lot of support. Now the best case scenario is we don't even want to go to this 50% and we just stop the bleeding at 38.2, which we weak through. Now if this price action come back, let me zoom in. If that price action want to come back within this area at 38.2, it will fill this imbalance or the wick here at 38.2. And if 38.2 level is holding, it means that we are still in a big continuation of the bullish move here. When it comes to 50%, there's a little bit more of indecision in the market. But if the 38.2 is holding at that stage, this 44 level is holding on a shorter term frame, and that can become a very strong leg to the upper side as well.
So Lee, I mean,
Yes.
Guys, he's laid it out beautifully for you guys. Send in your questions because we're going to be looking at Q&As as well. So take an opportunity to think of what it is you want answered over the weekend. Sad reality is downside is on the cards for us, whether we like it or not. But let's maybe move this into a positive note. What can we do that's a little bit more
The
positive?
first question we need to answer, I think it was from last week or 2 days ago.
What's the
are
question?
the bears?
Who are the bears? Let's maybe do with that. Guys, who are the bears?
Let me know in the chat. Are you playing with the bears today or are you playing with the bulls?
I wanna start with controversial quote from Wall Street. I don't know who created this quote, but I mean, it's ugly to the core, but it's a real controversial quote. And basically, the saying in Wall Street is the bulls make money, the bears make money, and the pigs always get slaughtered. So when we are saying to everybody, sit on your hands, I mean, I see sitting on my hands. That's because we're trading in the pig zone. We're trading in the area where everything is just not making sense. So you don't need to be trading there. And that's the narrative that I want to just lay or start the discussion on of what bullish and bearish. So think about this, guys. Lee's now, I'm going to bring up Lee's chart. And we've got Lee's chart here. to the top end side there where Lee's price target is. That's where a decision has to be made. That's where bears attack. If we look at the bottom there around $30,000, that's where a decision has to be made. That's where the bulls attack. And what we have is anything in the middle doesn't quite make sense, because you're in profit, you're not in profit. You're in profit, you're not in profit. And that is the public. Nobody in the public sector was comfortable buying $30,000 because at that stage, all looked like it's going to go down. And the same for 69. Nobody was comfortable selling 69 because it just looked like it's going to keep on going. And that's the reality, guys. So whenever you're in a position where you feel like, the market's against you, ask yourself the question, are you a bull or a bear, or maybe a little too greedy or a little too fearful, and you're getting punished for that. So bullish and bearish, I hope that that didn't come through too harsh, because a lot of people are new, and that's the sad reality is if you're new to this, you are going to be falling into the latter category. You're not going to be a bull or a bear because you're going to get it wrong. Emotions are still going to govern you and still going to get you in a position where you're going to make these compromising decisions.
I think the question is, when I started trading, or when I was interested in trading as well, when at the beginning, I was maybe like 12 years old, 14 years old, I could not understand when the market is dropping, how can you make money?
So basically, there's many ways that you can make money when the market is dropping. The most obvious is shorting, is taking a bet. So basically what I'm saying is, I know, I tell the market maker, the price is going to go down. So I'm putting my money where my mouth is and saying, right, the price is going to go down. I'm buying a short. I'm buying an agreement with you that I will only buy Bitcoin when it's $29,000, or in this instance, 35.6. That would be, I'm only going to be buying then. So I'm risking the fact that the market might run away from me, and that's where my stop limit is going to be. I will then, if this happens, buy at an even higher price. So the market maker has already got the Bitcoin. So for him, it's irrelevant. He owns the coin that you are speculating on. And if you are right at the bottom and you close your short, he contractually has to sell you that Bitcoin at that bargain price. But if you're wrong and it goes up, you're promising to buy it from him at a marked up rate. He gets to sell it at a higher price. That's how the bears make money. That's how it's funded. And another way where the term bears actually come into the market, Lee, you actually sent me this article, which is interesting. Yes. Bears, when they attack, they tend to stand on their back legs and then to the way down, smash the thing down. But it actually came with bear pelt trading, where guys were selling the pelts that was still on way, not really been there. So the saying was, never sell a bear skin when you haven't killed the bear yet. And the idea was that they hoped that the bear pelts, the amount of pelts that was on its way was so much that they will saturate the market, and then those pelts will be sold at a discount, meaning I'm selling it now and I'm hoping I'm going to buy it for cheaper later. And there was actually a term that folded around the bear, what was that word? What is irrelevant, the term, but that's basically how it played out. And then there's a lot of speculation on where the bulls terminology came from. But I think what I've found and what I read is that majority of it is just that bull is kind of the direct opposite of a bear. And there was a lot of bull-bear fights where they would tie a bear or a bull to a pole and then set dogs on it. So it's all very horrible. People back in history time really were cruel, huh, Lee?
Mm-hmm. And you think about how the bulls attack as well. The bull, how do they attack?
And when they attack, obviously the horn goes up.
The horn goes up.
But okay. But now let's talk about another attack. I want to show you guys this attack. I'm going to bring up my screen. Solana. So this is what happened. It got attacked, got hit by a DDoS attack. Now, basically, it's the same similar thing that happened to Matic a while back. And what happens is the network gets hit or gets hit by
DDoS
the easiest way to explain it is like a traffic jam all of a sudden. One light, there's too many cars going onto that one robot light, and it just clogs up the system. And that's basically what happens when people they create a little bot that creates fake transactions. So now that the blockchain has to spend some of its bandwidth to discrediting these transactions, and it slows down the whole process. So this is, I think, a big wake-up call that although we tend to want to latch onto a certain network and say that this is going to be the one that's all of them have got their vulnerabilities. And although the hacking and these exploitations can be seen as negative for your price in your pocket, it is actually paving the road for success for you into the future, because it's the one that basically learns to beat this the best. It's going to be the one that gets mass adopted in essence as well, partly. So just keep an eye out for stuff like that when it happens. I'm not too overly concerned about this because what Matic did is they basically raised their prices. They made it so expensive for that bot to make these fake transactions, the gas fee, that it almost is not viable for them to make these fake, pending transactions. And
why would you attack a blockchain? These transactions.
Well, if you can slow down the transaction, you might recapture a little bit more of the network, or just for the hell of it. I think that's the
you know what they did on Matic? They slowed down the network because it was cheap, and they were basically playing the middleman between you, the buyers or the offer, and the guy who is selling. And
coming in Ethereum, basically.
Yeah, and basically they were making this money between the slippage fees. So if you accept a slippage fee of 5%, 3%, and they got the offer on that side, so they will take both slippage fee at 3%, and he will get maybe a 1% slippage fee and sell it to you at 3% premium. This is it's really fascinating, right?
Yeah. And then you blaming the network and withdrawing your tokens, actually just supporting the fact that he's making money out of you. And that's the thing. Bulls make money, bears make money, pigs get slaughtered. We have to be informed, guys. This is what this channel is about. We have fun, we talk about these things, but these are the things that you have to keep in mind so that you don't get caught by these traps. Lee, Q&A, buddy. Let's maybe do a little bit of Q&A, and then there's some Ubisoft breaking news that I want to share with you guys as well. We'll leave it for a little bit later because Ubisoft was a big deal 2 days ago.
Exactly as you've been predicting.
Yes, and now there's some big contradictory news to that. Lee, Q&A, buddy. Let's see. What questions do we have?
Bring it on.
Let's see. Should I sell my investments, which are still in green?
For you, Rudo?
No, you go for it, my friend.
I'm a trader.
I'll even give you some.
Okay. Look, I've learned from my best friend, my best trader out there. He told me once, trade your investments. Don't trade your investments. Sorry, I forgot that.
Don't trade an investment and never invest in a trade.
In your trade, yeah, and never invest in a trade. So if it is your investment, treat it as investment, long term. Look long term. Look, months and years. Don't get in and out. Don't trade your investment. Don't trade your investment in the 15-minute chart and 1 hour chart. We know now that the main trend is still bullish. So if that is your investment, don't panic. Don't panic sell. Don't get in and out with your investment.
And then obviously the same as for trading.
Next year, I promise you, next year, Q1, Q2, May, that is maybe the moment that you want to sell. You want to sell when it's at the top. You don't want to sell when it's like going down. Sell the green candles.
The painful part is learn to take profits. We'll help you guys with that. I think there's another one. Do you see a new Bitcoin all-time high early next year? Well, I think Lee kind of answered that now in the sense that, yes, there's still positivity. Should the trend get broken over this December and stuff really goes, then we're going to have to change our mind.
If the tier works, and mark my word, and people say I'm bearishly, but I'm seeing Bitcoin not to 100K, guys. I'm seeing Bitcoin to go to 200K. And same as Rodo, but not this year. Probably next year. It's going to take time, but the top of BTC will be around 200K. And not a million, okay? When it goes to 200K, don't come to me and then we're going to go to a million. Take a profit at 200K, and we can reassess later.
It's better. You never go broke taking profits. Somebody taught me. And that's the reality, guys. And think about this. If you're doing this full time, how the hell are you going to pay your bills monthly and do everything if you don't take profits along the road? So treat your $100 as if it's $1 million, because we all know what we should be doing, but we're saying it to ourselves. If I had $1 million, I would be fine with 3% today, because 3% would kind of solve everything you would want to do today. But for some reason, because it's $100, that 3% isn't good enough, and we want more and more. Greed. We fall into that last category, not the bull or the bear. You're the last one, and then you get slaughtered for it. So please don't do that. Lee, another question for you. Is crypto safe on exchanges for long-term hold?
Long-term hold, I would put it in a ledger, in a hardware wallet. This is the safest way to protect your asset, is the hardware wallet. You have like Tezos, Trezors, and Ledger. I wouldn't put every single, of my cryptocurrency in an exchange. I've got some in my Ledger, I've got some in MetaMask, and I've got some in exchanges. And the bulk, the most of my crypto, if I wanted to hold for long term, it's on a Ledger.
There you go, guys. Nothing more to add to that. Okay, let's quickly look for another one. This is a really tough one to answer. Can you explain your exit strategy when downside is playing out? You kind of want to exit when it goes up. You don't want to exit on the way down.
And even though, the worst case scenario, let's see, we see the chart and it can even go to 28 or 17,000K BTC. Even we see that right now. I'm not going to sell right now. I want confirmation that the price has lost support. And guys, guess what? When it lost support, it always bounce back to give you another opportunity to sell at 49K, for example, here. So, Udo, if you want to share my chart, I just want to explain you the worst case scenario that I'm seeing on the chart is assuming, okay, we're going down, we're just bleeding, going down like this. Even if we go through the 618 zone, we go through 786 zone. Everything, if it's fast, it won't last. Same when the price goes up, it always come back to test. And same when the price goes down like this, it always come back at some stage to test. If this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you always have an A and a B and a C to give you the opportunity to exit the market again at that stage. And if you take a fib level from the top to the bottom, usually the price always bounces back to the 618. So you will always have a second opportunity to exit your investment or anything when this bearish scenario is going to play out. And especially at that stage here, if you are overexposed, this is your opportunity to cut a little bit, get out a little bit if you are overexposed. Never get 100% exposure in this market. But if you really are 100% in and you see this coming like this, you're going up at this level, I will take a good batch of my asset out, because what it's gonna do? Maybe it's gonna be A and then B, and maybe it cannot go down again like this. Okay, or it can go up. But if you are feeling overexposed, this is usually the zone to give you the second chance to get out of the market, because maybe it's gonna do like this again and then go up. So there's always an opportunity to buy even lower. So I'm never gonna sell when it's like this. I just want to sell if we have a retest. And for now, I don't see anything that's gonna tell me that even we're gonna lose this, 44K. For now, 44K is holding, but I just know that different possibilities that is out there in the market. But hey, we never know. I mean, once we give that possibility out there, and if anyone wants to counter us, they can push the price higher. But guess what? We've got already like a few holds that we bought at the reasonable area, which is the 618,786. And if the market goes up, they're gonna take my other bags with the market. And this is the beauty, because when you buy at this zone, you are controlling your risk management. And I mean, the market can drop a little bit like this, but that's already in your risk management. But the chances are it's going up is much higher than if you buy any asset when it's right here at the top. All right.
Lee, I'm going to interrupt this bomb of knowledge. We've got our winners. Joe, bring back that banner, please, buddy. We've got our winners. So there they are. I'm going to bring up your tweets. So Nicola and LG Merito, please contact the CryptoEMC Twitter account. Send it a direct message. There's the Twitter handle at CryptoEMC, and claim your role, buddy. And girl, maybe, I don't know. Claim your role, guys. Lee, go, buddy. I think we need to press on. Do you want to do one more question, or do you want to talk about Ubisoft?
One question for you. I've been answering all those questions. I mean, man.
You're good at it, buddy. You're good at it. I'll do one question. What question do I want to answer? Let's quickly go through and see if there's one that I want to do. Okay. Do you cash out everything and aim to buy back in bear winter? Matthew, this is a tough question, because where is the line of greed set for you, and where it is set for me is different. And what is the goal of cash out everything? My retirement fund is there for retirement. And I've got different goals with different wallets. I've got a cash wallet, which is my USDT wallet. The goal is there has to be enough to carry me for 6 months, a year, whatever the case might be. And my success that I achieve within trades and investments needs to keep funding that to get that back to that level. So I live to a budget, and that budget determines the level of the amount of cash that needs to be there. And I have to be disciplined by not allowing that to dip too low. So that's the first thing. So I need to cash out to top that thing up. Now, what does money do? If you've got money, it buys you time. It buys you freedom. Why the hell does everybody want to quit their day job? Because they're going to have time and freedom. But money kind of brings you back. So if you've got money, it's easy. So you keep that wallet topped up. Then what I do is I then look at the remaining of the funds. Some of it's trading capital, which means I have to trade. I can't go and live on that, because that's like eating out of your cash register. You're going to go broke at the end of the month. You can't touch that. So then you've got your investment funds. So realistically, where do you see this thing go? Look at the emotions. And every time the price doubles, I tend to think about selling a half, selling a quarter. You're still in the market, and you still build up additional wallet. But these dollars, that is your buy the bear winter dollars. The goal is, think about, say we get to all-time high day for Bitcoin and the ultimate peak of crypto market. Last time that happened was 2017 December Bitcoin. Okay, say we get to that point. Do you honestly think you'll be able to and have the skill and the confidence to sell everything on that day and get it right? How many people do you think that that's going to happen? So they're just kicking the problem like a can down the road, thinking that at that stage I'll be okay. Realistically, what happened on those days, Lee, with exchanges? There's so much traffic, they go offline, they crash, they fall to pieces, and you're blaming your internet connection. But the reality was you were supposed to take profit on the way there, guy. So that's the thing. So to cash out and buy bear winter is much harder than you think. So I would more focus on getting cashed out. And then when bear winter happens, let's enjoy it together. Cool. Okay, that's my question for the day. Lee, Ubisoft news. What happened with Ubisoft, buddy?
Well, they announced, I think it was yesterday, that
Yeah.
they will partner with Tether and to do some NFTs and gaming. And looks like that news was not the most welcome news in this gaming community.
Well, basically, what they did was they sent out a video and they delisted the video due to the fact that it had like 1,000 likes and 40,000 dislikes, and basically they were showing how how the first NFT is going to play out. Sorry, I'm on the wrong screen. Which was basically a helmet with a little number on it. So it is a half-baked idea, to be honest with him. So they immediately picked up that this is not fun. And this opens up a narrative basically for gamers to consider, and for us even to consider when we think that this NFT is going to be the next big thing. Gamers are comfortable buying a game. I'm buying a game. I want to play the game. I don't want to be overwhelmed by all sorts of unnecessarily in-game purchases. So some food for thought. Maybe find a better way to do that. Maybe find a better game to do it. Maybe make a better NFT. I don't think it's over. It's definitely not over. But the reality is it isn't as easy as we tend to think that it could be. That's my thought. Lee, anything else you want to add to that? Are we going to kill the stream and say goodbye?
I would add that if one day this YouTube channel is getting 31,000 dislikes and only 1,000 likes, you can be sure that I won't be doing that. So,
yeah, lesson learned. Okay.
It's a warning. Hit the like button.
Please hit the like. Okay. Please hit the subscribe. We're gonna bounce.
Yeah, where's your bouncing ball, Rodo? Must I buy one for you?
My bouncing ball bounced itself onto the heater and exploded. So I am out one bouncing ball. I will get it.
You better bounce. You better bounce because the price is not moving anywhere without you bouncing.
Yeah. I'm jinxing the market.
Blame on Rudo if Bitcoin is not going up.